welcome to the What's Up News Network, being broadcast from Panama City Beach, Florida, the home of the world's most beautiful beaches. And we're located 323 miles from Booger Hollow, Georgia, the center of the universe, where the people are so good they have to hold on to the blackberry bushes to keep from being drawn into heaven. I am Jim Free with Jim Free Realty. Please click on the red subscribe button just below the picture. We're heading for uncharted waters, and it might be a rough ride. From Lira Capital, in 1970, President Nixon set up the petrodollar to stem massive inflation by tying the U.S. dollar to the OPEC and oil markets. In the aftermath of a chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan, the 6-year-long talks between the Saudis and the Chinese have accelerated. Several foreign policy missteps by the Biden administration and record inflation levels here have some signaled U.S. weakness on the world stage. The de-dollarization attempts in several major powers are gaining traction. For example, India is looking at buying Russian oil using the yuan for a significant discount. Through U.S. sanctions, Russia has been cut off from half of its foreign reserves, making the de-dollarization not just a matter of preference, but survival. The rest of the world is watching. Is this just a bluff on the part of the Saudis? An attempt to get more consideration and respect from the current administration? These talks have been going on for 6 years. Surely there is no global interest in suddenly making the world's most important reserve currency worth zero overnight. That would devastate everyone financially, not just in the U.S. It would be mutually assured economic destruction. But it would be reasonable to look at the choices and the pressures in front of global leaders today and conclude that without significant changes in U.S. foreign and economic policies in the very near future, the dollar's days as a hegemonic reserve currency are numbered. De-dollarization in global oil markets would have significant structural repercussions here at home. If you think inflation is terrible now, consider what prices will look like when we can no longer export the bulk of the inflation abroad through petrodollar recycling. Right now, the dollar is just like a jet engine that's running out of fuel with no airport in sight. The best we can hope for is a gradual soft landing in a flat field or water, instead of vertical nosedive directly into a city block. This is causing the movement of money in the country and across the world. Some are investing in real estate, some in precious metals. In our state news, we love our governor, and his credentials are outstanding. He has guided us through the China virus and caught a lot of heat from Joe Biden, Andrew Cuomo, Dr. Fauci, and the likes. Governor DeSantis believes in freedom and believes in the judgment of Floridians. Recently, Florida legislature passed House Bill 1557, the Parents' Right in Education Act, which prohibits classroom instructions on sexual orientation or gender identity from kindergarten to grade 3. Some of the LGBTQ employees of Disney in California pressured the Disney CEO and board of directors to oppose the law, and these spineless Disney leaders caved to the woke movement and vowed to work toward the repeal of the law. The woke movement mischaracterized the law and called it the Don't Say Gay law. The law does not even mention gay. Do you remember when Stacey Abrams and Joe Biden were denouncing the Georgia voter ID law, and Joe Biden declared it was the Jim Crow on steroids law, and the Major League Baseball moved the All-Star game to a state with stricter laws than Georgia had just passed? This cost Georgia millions of dollars, hurting mostly minorities. Ed Risen, former McDonald's CEO, said he believes Disney executives should be fired for entering into politics without thought and care. The board of directors and executives work for the shareholders and should stay out of social and political engineering. Now, all the states controlled by Democrats are losing citizens to Florida. Let me tell you a little bit about our governor. Ron DeSantis was born September the 14th, 1978 in Jacksonville, Florida, the son of Karen and Ronald DeSantis. He is of Italian descent. Before relocated in Dundon, Florida, his family moved to Orlando, Florida, where when he was 6 years old in 1991, he was a member of the Little League team from Dundon that made it to the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. After graduating from Dundon High School in 1997, DeSantis attended Yale University. He was captain of the Yale's varsity team. DeSantis was an outfielder on the Yale baseball team, and as a senior in 2001, he had the team's best batting average of .336. He graduated from Yale in 2001 with a BA magna cum laude in history. He then spent a year teaching history at Darlington School in Rome, Georgia, which happens to be my hometown. When Ron was teaching at Darlington, I was chief of the Floyd County Police Department. Too bad we couldn't keep him in Rome longer. DeSantis then attended Harvard Law School, graduating in 2005 with a Juris Doctor cum laude. DeSantis received his Reserve Naval Officer's Commission and assignment to the Judge Advocate General's Court, or JAG, in 2004 at the U.S. Naval Reserve Center in Dallas, Texas, while he was still a student at Harvard Law School. He completed Naval Justice School in 2005. Later that year, he received orders to the JAG Trial Service Office Command Southeast at Naval Station May4, Florida, as a prosecutor in 2006. He was promoted from lieutenant junior grade to lieutenant. He worked for the commander of Joint Task Force Guantanamo, working directly with detainees at the Guantanamo Bay Joint Detention Facility. In 2007, DeSantis reported to the Naval Special Warfare Command Group in Coronado, California, where he was assigned to SEAL Team 1 and deployed to Iraq with the troops surge as the legal advisor to the SEAL commander, Special Operations Task Force West in Fallujah. DeSantis returned to the U.S. in April 2008, at which time he was reassigned to the Navy Regional Southeast Legal Services. The U.S. Department of Justice appointed him to serve as an Assistant U.S. Attorney at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Middle District of Florida. DeSantis was assigned as a trial defense counsel until his honorable discharge from active duty in February 2010. He currently accepted a reserve commission as a lieutenant in the Judge Advocate General Corps, the U.S. Navy Reserve. He was awarded the Bronze Star Medal, the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, and the Iraq Campaign Medal. I don't think it will be long before he is President Ron DeSantis, and the whole country will have a president that we can be proud of. Now let's go to one of the stories. I was raised a Baptist and a Methodist. And the reason, my grandfather was a Baptist and my grandmother was a Methodist, and they never changed. As a result, I had an uncle that was a Methodist pastor and an uncle that was a Baptist pastor. When I moved to Florida 17 years ago, I became associated with a non-denominational church that leaned Pentecostal. I don't know if I am a Baptist-Costal. I do know that I love the great I Am, and I want to serve him for the time that I have left. Now to the story. My cousin Leroy, a Baptist preacher, called me and wanted to know if he could borrow $1,200. He said he was embarrassed to tell me he had lost the money gambling. You see, Baptists don't believe in drinking or gambling, at least in the presence of other Baptists. Leroy was raised in Booger Holler on a farm, and he loved horses. Recently, he was attending a conference in Kentucky and noticed that a local track was having a race, so he decided just to go look at the horses. While there, he noticed a Catholic priest blessed one of the horses, and that horse won. This was repeated to the next two races, and all the blessed horses won. Leroy reasoned that this is not gambling, but a sure thing. He watched the priest bless a horse named Flash, and Leroy placed $1,200 bet on the Flash. Flash was leading the pack, but he fell over dead as he entered the third turn. As Leroy was leaving the track, he saw the priest and said, "Father, I saw you bless 3 horses, and they all won their races. But the 4th horse you blessed died on the 3rd turn." The priest said, "Ah, lad, that is certainly true. Those 3 horses I blessed did win. Where are you from?" Leroy said, "Father, I'm a Baptist pastor in Booger Holler." "Ah, that explains it. You being a Baptist could not tell the difference between a blessing and the last rites." In the national news, this is kind of breaking news. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy has been accused of lying about saying he would recommend to President Trump that he resigned over the January 6th incident. McCarthy denied saying that, but an audio tape seems to prove otherwise. I didn't know what to believe until this weekend when Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren called McCarthy a liar and a traitor. If anyone would know if someone was speaking with a forked tongue, it would be Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren, who has for years had experience speaking with a forked tongue. I've always thought it was strange that a citizen could be prosecuted for lying to Congress, but Congress could not be prosecuted for lying to their citizens. I guess that would just overload the courts. In the Biden news, Hunter Biden's most prominent investment partner had an official sit-down with Vice President Joe Biden in 2010. Eric Schwerin, president of the Rosemont Seneca firm, met with Biden while Biden served as vice president under former President Barack Obama, the New York Post reports. Schwerin is linked to a variety of Hunter Biden's foreign business dealings, past and present. Hunter's finances have come under intense scrutiny, as the evidence shows his father was used as leverage in negotiations. The meeting with Joe Biden was one of 19 visits that Schwerin paid to the White House, where he also met with a variety of aides to the vice president, according to the visitor's log from the Obama White House. It is becoming obvious who the big guy is Hunter keeps referring to. Is our president compromised when it comes to dealing with China and Russia? I think a more important question is, who is running our country? It is not Joe Biden, because he doesn't have the cognitive ability to run a shoe shine stand. I can feel for Joe because I'm a few months older than Joe, and I realize that I've lost my edge, and a shoe shine stand would be about my limit. Some think the White House Chief of Staff, Ron Clean. Some think it's former Obama advisor Susan Rice. Some think it is former Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett. Some think it's Obama himself on his 3rd term. I don't think it's Obama or any of his close advisors. Although I was not too fond of President Obama's policies, I don't think he could have gotten us in the mess that we're in now. I think he knew Biden was not capable of handling the job. It could be Ron Klain and Joe working together. In my opinion, it is the Easter Bunny and Joe Biden sharing responsibilities. Regardless of who is running the country, they have it in a mess, and the only good thing to come out of it is that President Jimmy Carter from my home state of Georgia is no longer the worst president in modern times. In Ecclesiastes 1:9, King Solomon tells us what has been is what will be, and what has been done is what will be done, and there is nothing new under the sun. But fear not, my little ones. Our instructions are clear. In 2 Chronicles 7:14, we're told, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sin, and I will heal their land. Until we meet again, may God bless you, your family, and this great nation that we live in.